I was in California last week, and so Bob sends me an email the other day saying, hey, what are you going to talk about? I'm saying, oh. And so, you know what, I thought about it. I thought maybe I would talk about a little bit about what insurance is about and how it works and that stuff, because through the conversations I've had with people, a lot of people I don't think understand some of the premise behind it. So, let me ask you a question. Do you ever see the Amish? What do you think of when you think of the Amish?
Simpler life.
Horse and buggy, simpler life. What do they do if somebody needs a new barn?
They all get together.
They all get together, they all work together, and they come together and build that barn. What happens if that barn burns down? They do it again, right? That's kind of what insurance is like. Everybody's pooling their money in this big pool, and if somebody needs some money, that some of that pool of money goes to that person to rebuild whatever they lost. Could be their car, there could be their house, could be a bunch of different things. Now, let's say the Amish guy's name is John Miller, because everybody's named Miller if you're Amish. So we got John Miller, and they build his barn, and his barn burns down. And so everybody comes in, and they build the first barn, and a year later the barn burns down. And what happens if John Miller has another fire, and it only burns half the barn? They're going to come back and help him rebuild it. Now what happens if they have another fire, and it starts burning his house?
They take him out of the community.
Right. So now you're Elias Miller, and you're ahead of the community. What happens? They start saying, hey, what's John doing that he keeps burning his barn down, or he keeps having fires in his house? That's kind of how insurance works. They're looking at how many losses you have, how many claims you have, why you're having claims, and they say, you know what? John Miller isn't a good risk because he's got a claim history. He's got a lot of claims. So Marty referred me to a woman, and she had two rather insignificant claims, probably $5,000 total in the past 3 years. But when I took them to the insurance company, most of the insurance companies said, you know what? That's too much of a risk for us. We don't want our community to be involved in paying all these claims. So we had to take her to a company that was pretty much a risk pool for homeowners insurance. And her premium is probably double what she would have paid. And she's got a $2,500 deductible on top of it. That's kind of the thought behind insurance is, we want to cover you for those unexpected things, but we don't want to cover you for your regular daily life things that maybe you didn't do the right maintenance, you didn't take care of things. So a lot of my experience has been in commercial insurance. And so workers' compensation, I think, is a perfect model. Because in workers' compensation, you pay your premium, but then they got this thing called the experience modifier. And if you have more losses, what that does is that experience modifier rises because of your experience. And so if you're a brand new company, you got an experience modifier of a 1. If you're doing really good, you could have an experience modifier of a 0.75 or 0.62. And so let's say you got a $10,000 premium, we'll multiply that by 0.75, and you're paying $7,500. If you're a poor company, your experience modifier could be a 1.25, 1.78. I've seen them as high as 2.5. So you're paying 2.5 times. You take that same $10,000 and you multiply it by 2.5 times. That's what your premium is. All based on losses. So when I consult with my clients and I look at the companies that I work with and I look at it from a personal line standpoint, those are the things that an underwriter looks at. They look at your claim history. They look at what your house. We'll focus on personal lines. What's at your house? Is there a trampoline? Do you have a dog? What kind of dog is it? Do you have a swimming pool? Is there a fence around it? They're looking at, is this a good risk? That's what, that's kind of the insurance world. What are the risks? How are they being controlled? And what are we insuring? And is it a value? How long's the roof been on? Has the wiring been updated? Do you have circuit breakers or fuses? Somebody that's got a house that's 60 years old or 80 years old and still has fuses is a higher liability than one that doesn't. That's kind of what the whole insurance realm is all about. So my job is to kind of guide the client through that process, to understand what they have, why they have it, maybe give recommendations. I mean, Christina said that, my background has been loss control. That's where I started in this business of, hey, you know what? You've got a problem here, and you can really fix it, and you can reduce the probability of claims. And in the long run, especially in the workers' compensation world, you get rewarded for that. Homeowners, personal lines is a little bit different because you don't have that experience modifier. But what you do have the ability to do is take that out to the marketplace and say, I've been claim free for 5 years. We've taken safe driving courses. Our house has been re-roofed in the past 4 years. We had an update in our wiring, so on and so forth. And we take that to the carriers and they say, here's Joe Miller's house. This is what it looks like. It's been around for so long. It's been covered for so long. He hasn't had any claims. He maintains a good property. They do have a pool, but it's fenced and it has a lock on the gate so nobody else can get in. And all those things kind of factor into the pricing. All those things factor into what the company is going to respond to, how they respond to it. The nice part about where I'm at is that I don't represent a single company. So we represent a handful of big carriers and then another couple handfuls of smaller carriers. That gives us a whole variety for the marketplace. Gives us the ability to say, you know what, this might need a specialty market here, so look, we're going to focus this business or this company on the specialty market. Or, this is a good opportunity for most anybody. We're going to look at most anybody and see what the carriers come back. And what we do is pretty much create the competition among the carriers. We've got this great risk. They're all in control. They haven't had any claims. Here's the processes that they have in place. This is why they're a good risk. And this is why you as a carrier should look at them. We may negotiate, especially on the commercial side, we may negotiate with the carriers, hey, you know what, your pricing is too high. You're out of the ballpark. We need a better, need you to sharpen your pencil a little bit more. That all happens in the insurance world. It's not like you go for a price and you get the price. Especially on the commercial side. The commercial side is so wide open. I heard somebody talk about a large deductible premium. And, some companies will take on the first $250,000 or $500,000 of risk themselves and then have insurance over the top of it. All that stuff factors in. Your premium's going to be a whole lot less if you're going to be paying for the first $250,000 of any single claim. Those are the things that we look at. Those are the things that we try to understand. And those are the things really that we help our clients with, is focusing in on, here's where your problem areas are. Here's some controls that you can put into place to control those problem areas. So I think I might not be a full 10 minutes here, but I just wanted to, kind of give you an overview of how insurance really works. So if you're John Miller, we might not want to insure you. But, if you're Rebecca Miller, John's second cousin, that might be a different story. So, Ron Amzak, Hoffman Hannafin Insurance, and I thank you very much.